Gosh, Jeffrey, another day, another thunderstorm apparently there in Pontiac, Michigan.
Although we did get some tennis in this morning until about 11:15 on the hard courts, and then severe thunderstorms came through. It was messy. I mean, heavy thunder, lightning, and sheets of water coming through. And
Well, if you look at the news, I mean, where like the state of Arkansas is just underwater.
yeah,
I mean,
just getting hammered.
there's so much flooding going on in the Midwest and the South right now.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. Well, someday you'll be on the grass courts. I know. I feel it.
What's crazy is that we're just looking for 2 days in a row of no rain.
Yeah.
And we actually haven't had that yet.
That's amazing.
It's been off the charts. Yeah. And it's not like it goes crazy rain. Some of the days it's a beautiful day, a thunderhead moves through, dump. Okay, well, now you're waiting for 2 days again, to get the drainage going and let it. So anyway, we're here. The grass is looking really good, though. It's having really a chance to puff its chest up and feel good about itself.
Yeah, right. All right. Well, all right. Anyway, well, look, guys, thank you for hanging out with us today. Another episode of the Gold Ball Hunting Podcast. I am Brent Abel Jr. This guy over here, Jeff Jacklich, the first, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so too. The one and only. So what are we helping folks do, Jeff? Well, we're trying to help folks kind of take their game. I hate that term. Let's take your game to the next level.
Yeah.
It's just so hyperbole.
Yeah.
I just think it's baloney.
I think in there with take it up a notch.
Take it up a notch. Kick it up a notch. But actually what we're really trying to do is help players play at a consistent level day in and day out, and hopefully that level is at the top of your current skill level. Trying to help you guys reduce your overall skill level range, where one day you're incredible, just incredible. And it's actually a little frustrating because you know that the next day or two you're going to go out there and lay a big thunder egg out there, and it's just a head scratcher. Why can't I play like this every day? And that's kind of like, it's a mystery. It's one of the big life questions.
Eighth wonder of the world.
Yeah, well, we're looking for the ninth wonder, which is I'd just like to play at that level another day, right?
Right.
Could I play string? It's kind of like the rain there. Could I get 2 days in a row of just some good stuff here? So, guys, the way we're trying to help you do that is give you some ideas about how you can reduce your skill level range. And I want to talk about that today. That's kind of the topic that I've got. That again, you don't know what's coming at you today, Jeff. But I think you actually operate better that way when it's not a premeditated. That's not quite the right word, but whatever it is.
Right.
Anyway, we're trying to help you reduce your skill level range, and the way you can get. And we did a video. What was that, back in January? I think you and I recorded a private video back in January, giving you ideas how you can reduce your skill level range and start playing at that same level day in and day out, so that you start becoming predictable and knowing how you're going to play day in and day out. And that's when you build confidence. That's one of the ways you build confidence in your game, because I've got another way I want to run by you today. And it has nothing to do with drugs or alcohol or any kind of, which I know in your case is like, well, then what's the point?
Thanks for that, Brad.
You're welcome, Jeff. So anyway, the way to get that private video, go over to goldballhunting.com, first name, email address. You'll get access to that video. Plus, you'll also get access to our online calendar scheduler, where you can cherry pick a date and time if you want to get in a free private 10-minute coaching call with me and Jeff. So, Jeffrey, I've got a thought that I want to run by you. I guess it's a question. But it seems like no matter how hard we work in our games, right? And guys go out there and they drill a lot and they play a lot of practice points. They play a lot of practice sets, some matches. They do all the gym work. But, they get out on that match when it counts, either a tournament match or a league match. And this thing is going to be made, the results are going to be made public. And I think, and I know I do this way too often, is I don't think of confident thoughts, right? It's kind of like, well,
Right.
what could go wrong today? Or, God, this guy's good. I mean, you don't even think about, well, like, I've been working my ass off, and I'm playing this guy, and God, I just hope I don't get beat 0-0, or I don't hope, it's all these negative things that.
Right.
And so my question to you is, why can't we just choose to be confident? Why do so many players choose to not be confident?
Wow.
What do you think?
There's a lot of...
Now, you may not have much personal experience with this because you're naturally a very confident human being in everything you do, from playing tennis to teaching tennis to... I've never seen you nick, your head up there, so you're probably very confident when you go to do the shave. I'm serious.
I think though that's something though that, I mean, yes, some people are born with that personality trait. They just naturally kind of move through things and see them a certain way and naturally just walk to the beat of that drummer. Right?
Without being artificially cocky.
Yeah,
or
without
like
training and without heavy training or something like that, they naturally just kind of don't see things in that kind of harsh black and white, good, bad, kind of scenario. They're able to bridge that gap and play in a semi kind of detached, mental and emotional framework. So, but I think for the most of us humans, us mortals down here on planet Earth, I think everybody has the capability. I think without a doubt, I don't think there's nobody that's not capable. It doesn't have the built-in hardwiring to do it. It's just, how has your brain been hardwired to this point? And it doesn't matter whether you're 15 years old, 20 years old, 25, 71, 59. It doesn't matter. The good news is, though, is that it can be rewired. And how motivated and disciplined are you to want to do the work to rewire it? So, like, actually, it's interesting that you brought this up today, because this morning, Zverev won in, how many did he win in? I don't know whether it was 4 sets.
I didn't see his match.
Or it might have been a 5-setter. Was it a 5-setter? I don't know. I forget. But the guy asked him, how do you feel? You lost this, and you kept a good attitude, and he just, and Zverev said, it's something that me and my coaches have been working on. That when I finish the points and I do this, and I'm switching sides of the court. He just gave a quick brief little thing. But if you listen to a lot of the players now, it's not. You have to realize that these guys. If you don't think Roger Federer has a mental trainer in his corner, I think you're delusional. If you don't think Djokovic has somebody, if you don't think Rafa has somebody, and if you don't think whoever, the guys that reach the absolute pinnacle of the game aren't spending time and resources on being trained on how to do it better, then I think you're being delusional. I mean, it takes work to do it. So, like we've talked about it before, where all the different books you can buy out there, and everybody reads them, but that's great that you have the knowledge now. But now you got to go out there and actually get the experience and put that knowledge into practice. And I can guarantee you, it's going to be ugly at first. It's not going to be, oh, well, I'm just supposed to, chant this Gregorian chant, and then I'm supposed to, turn around 2 times and wave my hand, and then that's it, It takes an unbelievable amount of work to make it happen.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. Well, I think that confidence in a match, and I think if you're going to play consistently at the top of your skill level, whatever that current skill level is right now, is that you've got to choose to be confident. I mean, to me, it's a choice. It really is a choice. And I just think we by nature, especially where there's so many players who are always going to be better than we are.
Right.
And with Fed and Rafa and those guys, they're at the very top of the pile, you know. So it's probably easier for them to just assume that, well, I'm going to win today, so I can be confident. But I think for the rest of us, I think if you are doubting yourself, I think if you are choosing to have, you know, non-confident thoughts, that you're not going to bring out your best stuff. And so I'm not saying that you got to be artificial and just going, well, you know, I'm the man, or I'm the, you know, woman, or whatever this kind of stuff is. No one can beat me. I think you got to be realistic. But I think that, and you just alluded to it, you've got to practice, I think, off the court as well as on the court, whatever it is where, and look, you're right. Those guys all probably have someone, whether it's a physio, or whether it's a trainer or someone, or even a coach, who's pumping these guys up off the court mentally. You know,
right.
They are really building their confidence, which is completely different than tweaking that little forehand volley or the drop
right.
shot or something like that. But for the rest of us, 99% of us, we don't have the resources. I mean, we have the resources, but we probably don't have the financial wherewithal to be able to have a guy we can hire who's traveling or living in the house with us, you know, 24/7 for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Right.
Gosh, Jeff, you are unbelievable, man. I can't even see why these guys even enter the tournament when they see your name on the entry list.
Can I get you to call me every morning?
Well, maybe that's a service we could offer.
And, you know, there are, you know, I mean, that is a methodology. It is a methodology. I know I've got some friends in the real estate business that there's a group of them that it's a 7 a.m. call every day, and there's 4 or 5 guys on the call, and they sit there and they go around like, how's your day look? Okay, make sure you make those phone calls. And they're pumping each other up, and then the day starts.
Yeah, that's good.
So it's not uncommon, and I think the tough part is to find, you know, can you find a, you know, somebody who can help you be accountable, an accountability partner, or a group, and say, you know, hey guys, you know, let's try this for 30 days. Let's try this for 60 days. Right. We're gonna get on a phone call together at, you know, whatever time.
Right.
And we're just going to do a little routine of, you know, positive reinforcement or whatever it might be, you know. But I think that, you know, the challenge is that, you know, you're hardwired. The actual hardwiring is born out of your experience. This happens, therefore this has happened. It happened enough times where now it's actually a hardwire connection that my response when this incident happens is I think this way. And then the next appropriate thing happens because it's all pre-planned, because it's my historical pattern. And that's historically how we all think. To some degree or another, we are all thinking from a past tense thinking pattern, because it's all about the experiences we have. So every day, you know, if you have your routine every day, and I do my coffee, and I do this, and I do that, and that, well, your brain is hardwired now for that. I mean, so now you're just working on a program. Yeah. You know, you're just working on a hardwired program. So the challenge, I'm just say this briefly, and then the challenge then is when you're on the court, you know, to put it back on a tennis court, is you have to choose, okay, this set, the thing I'm actually going to pay attention to is not stroke quality, not winning the match, not winning the set or anything. I'm just going to pay attention to my mental framework, my mental state of being during this set. And every time I hear the same voice come up, because it will, because you're doing the same activity, every time that voice comes up, I'm going to make a new choice. I'm going to make a new decision to think something else. And that's basically how you do it, is you have to make, when you come up to that moment, I'm going to make a new choice, and I'm going to go this direction instead. Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. Yeah. Well, I mean, to me, it's the final frontier, I think, for senior tennis, is that I think that, and I'm talking about the mental training that we don't do. Yeah. And you know, I was over at the Brooklyn Tennis Club just working out today. Didn't play, but was up there in the second floor deck, kind of looking out all over the courts. And, you know, you can see some of these guys who are, you know, some senior tournament guys, some guys who play leagues, other guys who just, all they want to do is just come out, you know, every day of the year and hit with the same other 3 guys. Right.
Like, okay, all right. But it's interesting to me that today I was sort of looking out there just going, especially the one guy who I know is playing a lot of senior tournaments. And it's like I see him doing the same thing over and over again that he's literally been doing for decades.
Right.
And to me, it's like, I mean, I don't want to go to the big cliche. Well, what's the definition of insanity? Which is, obviously
Right.
what I'm watching him do, because I know he wants a different result.
Right.
But I think that or a lot of us are underachieving in the mental part. And I think if you don't unlock the mental part, I don't
Right.
care how much training on the court you're doing. I don't care how much drilling you're doing. I don't care how much training you're doing in the gym. I don't care how good your nutrition is. If you can't
Right.
figure out how to unlock the mental part and free yourself up to start thinking that, well, look, I could just choose to be confident. I could just do that. Now, for a while, it might be a bunch of bullshit. You might be telling yourself a load of crap that, self too doesn't believe.
Right.
But over time, self one's going to get
Right.
its way, right? Self one's going to keep saying to self two. Self two doesn't know what's real or not, right? What's
Right.
real or imagined.
Right.
So you keep training those thoughts. I'm just going to choose to be confident. And I mean, how do you define confidence? Well, for every human being, it's a different feeling.
Right.
So you can't say, well, here's what confidence is.
Right.
I'll sell it to you for $97 in a big bundle. Oh, we've got a whole bunch of extra bonuses to go along with it too. Thank you to all my,
Right.
competitors out there. So I just think though that you have to figure out, or I think that you have to be aware of what is it that you're telling yourself day in and day out
Right.
that is holding you back.
Right.
And that's, for everyone, it's
Right.
a totally different discussion.
Right. What's holding me back? Not only, mentally, emotionally, but, looking at the landscape of your game, what am I not seeing? What am I not seeing? Or is my idea of the game, is my vision of the game, the way tennis, quote marks, is supposed to be played, is that statement actually creating my own problem? Right? That the lens I look through is so narrow, how I think tennis should be played, and anything outside of that, I just chalk up to, oh, the guy's a pusher, the guy's a this, the guy's a that. It's not real tennis. Well, I'm sorry, you just dumped out in the first round, and apparently you played the tournament because we all want to compete, and, I play a tournament, you play a tournament, and in my head, the back of my head, my expectation is, yeah, I'd like to be there on Saturday and Sunday. I'd like to be there at the end of the week because I want the prize.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
But I also like the journey.
Yeah.
I like the journey every day. Let's go test the new theory, right? Let's go test the new patterns. Let's go test the new idea. And so I think that's a big stumbling block for a lot of senior players because, if we look at it, then, we've seen the game evolve, but we haven't per se. And that's, the people we're talking to is we want them to get involved enough to see it and see the game differently now. We want them to take the glasses you're looking through now, change the lenses, and let us show you, really what the game looks like at this stage of your career, no matter where you are in that, right? But I think people are so locked into the classic form of tennis, i.e. the Rod Laver and the that kind of format that there's so much more going on.
Well, that's a good point. I watched the finals of one of the Pacific Coast singles matches Monday. A friend of mine and a guy who and he ended up losing the finals. 6-4, 7-5 in the third, something like that. And he walks into the locker room afterwards, and there's one of his buddies who's just, and here it is, the guy has just walked off the court, and one of his buddies is sitting there trying to tell him, I tell you, why didn't you do this, and why did you, blah blah blah, and all these things, and the guy is just like, if you don't shut up right now,
right,
I'm going to join the NRA. If they've got a founding membership, I'll do it. And, I'm sorry, dude, but shut up. And so I saw this guy, a little bit afterwards, after everything had calmed down, and I just said, I overheard what was going on, right, when you walked in the locker room, a little while ago, and I said, I got a little different take on it. And I said, I thought that the shots you were hitting, and he's primarily a baseline guy, but he's looking to get in to try to end the point up in net. But it said at your level, you guys are good enough that that just trying to work this guy from corner to corner is not going to get it done, because first of all, the guy's quick enough to get from corner to corner, and your mindset is, well, I got to get it through the corner. I got to get through the corner.
Right.
So you're hitting balls that are just like waist high, maybe in between his waist and his knees over there. I said, this is like the honeypot for the guy. And in fact, if you hit the ball harder over there, he's just going, oh, thank you very much. It's
just going to get worse.
It's going to get worse. And it did get worse, right? And I said, did you ever consider, and this is more sort of, now my age group, maybe for the last couple of age groups, is take a couple of forehands and roll that thing up and get it up. I mean, he's going to get to it, right. But now make the strike zone shoulder high rather than beautifully in here. Get it up in here. And he said, yeah, I thought about it, but I just don't like to play the game like that. And I said, well, okay. And I wanted to say, well, I guess you don't like to win, right? And I didn't say it to him because I felt like.
So what's funny is with that statement, right? I just don't like to play the game that way.
Right.
Well, then why are you upset then when you lost?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah. I mean,
that's only going to solve a problem against a very X amount of players. And that's exactly.
And I would not doubt if his response afterwards is this week to get out in the ball machine or to get a hitting partner and see if he can put a target in each corner, put a can of balls in each corner 2 inches from this baseline and from the single sideline, and see. I just need to do that better.
Right.
I want to say it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
So.
Right.
Which was the same response I got from a guy a few months ago. I think I shared this story with you.
Yeah.
I was telling him, but same thing. He just wanted to knock guys off the court. And I said, well, what about a dropper? I mean, he's in my age group. And I said, hey, look, I've had a lot of success with the drop shot, and I'm talking to a friend of mine, a guy, Berkeley Tennis Club member, and he just kind of says, that's just for. Well, I'm not going to say the word. But he just sort of said, well, that's for wussies. That's just little sissy tennis. I looked at him. I said, I can't help you.
Right.
I just said, I got to go back and in the stationery for a while. I can't help you. So anyway, I guess we've gotten off topic here, but I don't know how you become more confident. How you choose to be more confident, thinking, well, I just got to ding each corner after another, right. And then like that match I lost today, I'll be able to handle that guy next time.
Right. What's the solution? Right. What's the solution? And I think that's
very narrow thinking.
I don't think this is off topic. I mean, it's exactly. Are you willing to make a new decision? We're talking about confidence. We're talking about, do all the same things crop up in your head when you're playing it, right? That was the original question, really, was, how do we battle against these things that every time it's lather, rinse, repeat? And it's like, I'm so sick of hearing that story in my head. Well, let's choose a new one. But along with choosing that new one, let's look at the whole landscape of your game, not just mentally, but physically. What's in your skill set, right? What's in your toolbox? And are you utilizing your skill set? Are you milking it for everything you can get out of it, right? And probably the answer is no. And so what can you use? What's in your toolbox that you can use confidently, but use that stroke technique to produce something else that you'll be able to do fairly quickly without having to learn a whole new shot per se, So.
Well, good. Thank you. I appreciate your feedback, Jeffrey. That's very good. Very good. Guys, hope you enjoyed today's episode. And, one of the last things Jeff's going to ask you here to do is to leave a comment. But for sure, Jeff and I both, look, first of all, we do read comments. We do respond to them. Maybe not, like 3 nanoseconds after you've hit submit. But within a day or two, we get to it. I think we're pretty good about that. But I'd love to hear your thoughts today, guys, on choosing to be confident. And if you do, give us some help. Give us some ideas of what you do to be confident. And if you're not, how come? And let's see if we can help you with that. So, guys, one more reminder: free coaching call. It's a private 10-minute coaching call. The 3 of us, you, me, and Jeff, we get in the conference call, a little phone call, and we chat about that one thing in your game right now that's holding you back, and maybe it's some area of the mental game that might be just a little, ouch, darn it.
Yeah, darn it.
God, I can't. Anyway, the way to get on the call, go to goldballhunting.com. Time out.
I'm going to time out. I'm going to interrupt this right here because I don't want people to jump off because, they're just doing the end of the show right now. So I'm going to jump in really quick because this thought is in my head right now, and it's important.
Good.
So we just got an email from one of our students, right?
Yes.
Who had played a practice match. He's getting ready for a tournament this next week. He lost the first set 6-4, and then on the changeover, he thought, I'm going to do what Brent and Jeff said to do in my webinar, blah, blah, blah. And he's been working on it diligently anyway. It wasn't like, we did this and now he's just thinking of doing it. He's been working at it and really having some great success with it. But then he sat down and had the clarity to sit there and decide, I need to make a new decision for this next set. And so he made 2 decisions, and he wins the next 2 sets 6-0, 6-0.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just wanted to say that it's about, do you have the clarity on a changeover to make a new decision and get in there and apply it and deploy that tactic strategy, that mental decision, and see what happens.
Yeah, what we should do is we should get him on a call, because I think that's a huge mindset shift. Being able to, number one, know 6-4, I lost that 6-4, how come? What happened? What went on in those 10 games where he won the majority of the games? Right. And to have that kind of clarity is sort of knowing, well, all right, let's do this different thing. And that's not easy. I mean, a lot of guys, just like I said with this other guy, he said, well, I just got to play better. I just got to up my A game and take it to a new level.
I just got to try harder. What does that mean? I just got to clench. I got to clench a little harder.
That's right.
Okay, whatever.
That's right.
Anyway, So anyway, that's I want to jump that.
Well, that's cool. Well, look, guys, free 10-minute coaching call, private, goldballhunting.com, first name, email address. Click the button. Don't forget to do that. Click the button. And you'll get access to our calendar. And let's get in the call. Again, it's free. Maybe we can help you out, and what the heck, we might even encourage you to get on and become one of our private students and do a webinar with us. In the meantime, Jeffrey, what do we want the fine folks to do at this moment?
Like us, share us, please subscribe. Let us know what you think down below.
Man, this is really, I'm not feeling confident right now. Guys, get out there today. Help someone else have a spectacular day. Jeffrey, we will do this again tomorrow.
I can't wait.